पराई जाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए जे पीर पराई जाने रे। पर दुखे
The 1930 Salt March had a tremendous impact on the Indian political scene. Millions responded to the Mahatma's call to break the government monopoly in the manufacture of salt. At the same time, a countrywide civil disobedience movement was launched to defy the British rulers by boycotting foreign goods, reading of banned literature, and refusing to pay taxes and land revenue. Jawaharlal Nehru described the no tax, no rent campaign as a great success and said, in certain areas, hardly any collection had been made. Gandhiji and all important leaders were arrested. The leaderless people carried on the struggle in the face of excessive police repression. The world took notice. Brailsford wrote in the Manchester Guardian, "To face the lathi charge became an honor and a spirit of martyrdom. Volunteers went out in hundreds to be beaten. They gave a display of discipline and passive courage." Webb Miller, an American journalist, described the movement as the triumph of nonviolence over the armed forces gave Gandhi's idea of nonviolence his first victory. Gandhiji complained to the Viceroy about the unthinkable brutalities and savage methods. The Viceroy admitted, "The movement is serious and has permeated many strata of Indian society," and said, "I am satisfied that we shall not solve the real problem merely by repressive measures." The Viceroy consoled his government by feeding false information that Muslims did not take part in the movement. The truth was that 12,000 Muslims, including Abul Kalam Azad, Abbas Tayyibji, Sayyid Mahmud, Rafi Ahmed Kidwai, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, and M.A. Ansari had courted arrest during the Salt Satyagraha. The Secretary of State, Wedgwood Ben, expressed his embarrassment about Gandhiji's arrest and wrote, "I wish I felt sure what the right way to deal with him is." Police excesses led to violent reactions amongst the revolutionaries. Surya Sen, Ganesh Ghosh, and Anand Singh led the famous Chittagong Armory raid. They occupied 2 armories, telephone and telegraph offices, and other strategic buildings. The Indian national flag was hoisted, and Surya Sen declared the president of the Chittagong branch of the Revolutionary Government of India. In the British counterattack, many revolutionaries were killed. Preeti Lata Wardedar was killed, Ganesh Ghosh and Surya Sen arrested. In June 1930, the Simon Commission report was published. It confirmed the worst fears of the Indian leaders that the British wanted to retain their hold on India. Even the Viceroy was unhappy with the report and suggested early talks with India. With the Viceroy's consent, moderate leaders M.R. Jaikar and Tej Bahadur Sapru met Gandhiji at Yerwada. The Mahatma told them that without consulting the working committee, he could not give any commitment. Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal, Vallabhbhai Patel, Sarojini Naidu, and Sayyid Mahmud were brought to Yerwada. Since the government had given no assurance that India's demand for dominion status with safeguards would be considered, Gandhiji and the Indian leaders decided not to attend the proposed roundtable conference. The conference opened in London on the 12th November 1930. Indian delegates were selected by the Viceroy. They represented communal organizations, princely states, and British interests. The conference was designed to display the diversity of India rather than its unity. The failure of the conference made the British realize that without participation of the Congress, no constitutional progress was possible. On the 26th of January 1931, Gandhiji and all the leaders were released. The Congress Working Committee met at Swaraj Bhavan, Allahabad. This magnificent building, the old Anand Bhavan, had been donated to the nation by Motilal Nehru in 1930. The Working Committee requested Gandhiji to meet the Viceroy. Gandhiji accepted the Viceroy's invitation and met him in Delhi on the 17th of February. Winston Churchill called the meeting. The humiliating spectacle of this one-time Inner Temple lawyer, now a seditious fakir, striding half-naked up the steps of the Viceroy's palace, there to negotiate and to parley on equal terms with the representatives of the King Emperor. But he was soon to realize that Gandhiji was not an ordinary individual, for he represented the will of a whole continent. Gandhiji and Lord Irwin held talks between the 17th of February and the 5th of March 1931. Gandhiji said, "I am hankering after peace, if it can be had with honor." On the 5th of March, the Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed. The Federation was accepted as an essential basis for framing of the future Constitution of India. Civil disobedience movement to be discontinued. All ordinances in connection with the movement to be withdrawn. Property seized to be returned. The Congress to attend the second roundtable conference. As Article 2 of the Pact sought to retain British control over defense, foreign affairs, minority problems and finance, it was bitterly criticized by many congressmen. Gandhiji explained to the people that the settlement was only a truce. India's goal still remained complete independence. In the Lahore conspiracy case, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev were sentenced to death. Gandhiji and other leaders had pleaded with the authorities to save these young lives, but in vain. All the three were hanged in the Lahore Central Jail on the evening of March the 23rd, 1931. The 1931 Congress met in Karachi on March 29.
सुभाष चंद्र बोस, अब्बास सैयद जी, श्री युद्ध सेन गुप्ता और उनकी पत्नी महात्मा गांधी जी की पेशवाई के लिए खड़े हुए हैं.
Black flag demonstrations and slogans of Bhagat Singh Zindabad greeted Gandhiji and the Congress leaders.
बच्चों की याद मना रहे हैं.
Gandhiji explained to the agitators that all possible efforts were made to save the lives of Bhagat Singh and his compatriots. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, now called the Frontier Gandhi, attended the session with a strong contingent of his Khudai Khidmatgars. The Karachi session was presided over by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The Congress adopted a number of important resolutions. The Charter of Fundamental Rights, socialistic approach to lessen the burden of the poor, safeguard of the rights of minorities such as culture, language, scripts and religious practices. The Gandhi-Irwin Pact was ratified and the Congress requested Gandhiji to be its sole representative at the Round Table Conference. The Congress adopted the new national flag, a tricolour of saffron, white and green with the spinning wheel on white. Rain or shine, people in their thousands attended flag hoisting ceremonies. Jawaharlal Nehru has said, the flag had become a symbol of much that we held dear. Jawaharlal and Kamala Nehru proudly waved the new flag. The 29th of August 1931, Gandhiji boarded the SS Rajputana at Bombay on his way to London. He was accompanied by Madan Mohan Malviya, Sarojini Naidu and Miraben. Gandhiji said, I must go to London with God as my only guide. I shall endeavour to represent every interest that does not conflict with the interest of the dumb millions. Aware of the tremendous faith the people had reposed in him, Gandhiji mused, I shall work for an India in which the poorest shall feel that it is their country, in whose making they have an effective voice. Miraben, daughter of a British admiral, renounced a life of luxury and joined Gandhiji. The captain took Gandhiji to the bridge and also on a tour of the ship.
I'm coming down, but don't say me to people. No.
Gandhiji arrived in England on the 12th of September 1931 and said, I am here to vindicate the honor of India and to uphold the truth as I see it. Instead of expensive hotels, Gandhiji preferred to stay as a guest of Muriel Lester at Kingsley Hall in the poor district of East End of London. The Round Table Conference opened at St. James's Palace. It was a vast gathering of 112 delegates representing the government, princely India, Congress, the representatives of several organizations and interests. The famous cartoonist David Lowe portrayed it as a circus. The main issues of federal structure and minorities were discussed at two different committees. The British played up the divisive forces, divide and rule. Time and again they brought up the question of minorities. The delegates to the Minorities Committee consisted of Englishmen from England, Englishmen from India, Anglo-Indians, Muslims, Hindus, untouchables, Sikhs, Parsis, Christians and women. It is said that every one of them, except the women, asked for separate electorate. Gandhiji rejected the very notion of separate electorate and said, in an independent India, all people will vote only as Indians for Indians. Gandhiji met many leading personalities and the common people to create a proper understanding of India's case. The cotton mills of Lancashire had been badly hit by the boycott of their goods in India. When workers complained, he asked them, Do you want Lancashire's prosperity to be built upon the ruins of the Indian artisan? Wherever he went, he was welcomed, applauded and admired.
I am thankful that I got this opportunity of being surrounded by these happy children and seeing the homes of the poor. Thank you, thank you.
Planting a tree in front of Kingsley Hall, he said,
Never the result of the mission that brought me to London, I know that I shall carry with me the presented memory of my stay in the midst of the poor people of East London.
The conference was a failure. Gandhiji left England on the 5th of December, disillusioned, empty-handed. Gandhiji addresses a conference of diplomats at Geneva.
Have all officially reported. Call that as you like. It is complete independence that we want.
While Gandhiji was on his way home on the 14th of December 1931, the government issued emergency powers ordinances in the United Provinces and 3 ordinances in the Northwest Frontier Province to suppress the no-tax campaign. The ordinances empowered the government to seize movable and immovable properties and make arrests without warrants. It was a breach of the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. People protested. The authorities were merciless in their repression. Jawaharlal Nehru and Tasadduk Sherwani had been arrested when they were on their way to meet Gandhiji. After an absence of nearly 4 months, Gandhiji reached Bombay on the 20th of December 1931.
इंदिरा नेहरू के साथ महात्मा गांधी जहाज से नीचे उतरे।
The people of India gave him a thundering welcome. At Mani Bhavan, he gave an account of his talks at the Round Table Conference to the Congress Working Committee. He was informed that during his absence, properties, buildings, bank balances were being seized and arrests made without warrants. A deeply agitated Gandhiji said, "I take it that these are all Christmas gifts from Lord Wellington, our Christian Viceroy." The same evening, over 200,000 people gave an overwhelming reception to Gandhiji at Azad Maidan, Bombay. Gandhiji condemned the British atrocities and their attempt to dehumanize a whole race. He asked the people to get rid of fear of death and adhere to non-violence and said, "If a fight is inevitable, I would expect every son of the soil to contribute his mite." I would not flinch from sacrificing even 1 million lives for India's liberty, for complete independence.